G'day everyone, welcome to another Page in 10 video. This episode I'm going to do a sugar skull kind of flower. I don't really know what to call it. It's it's like the sugar skull is a bulb of a flower and we're going to draw some petals on it, and it's mostly just to have some fun with a multicolored pencil. So I want to encourage you, if you do have a pencil with multicolored lead, to get that out, because I think this actually kind of helped me get a better feel for this pencil. I've used it a lot, but doing this I was like, oh no, I really can choose which colors I want to do and how to put them everywhere, even though I would kind of advise against that, because why bring in extra decision making into the process if you don't have to. But I think it'll help. If you've ever found yourself just making mud with these pencils, some are better than others. This Black Pal one is a really good one because hopefully you can see that all the colors are separated into their own little channels and it is a full rainbow. So this one's pretty hard to mess up. Anyway, I think it's a really fun effect. I'm going to do it with a regular pencil first, just so you can get a good idea for what it all looks like. And it's pretty quick, so we don't really have to, I don't think we're going to worry about having time to do two. Anyway, let's get right into it. I'm going to pop the timer on and we shall start. All right, 10 minutes on the clock. Here we go. First of all, I'm going to draw a big circle. This is going to be my page where I draw it, and then I'm going to use the colored pencil to do it on the other side. I'm going to draw a big circle, and then underneath at the bottom, I'm going to put 3 little loops. 1, 2, 3. This serves as like the teeth of the skull, but I put a whole extra face on my skull anyway, so I just keep those 3 soft little loops, and you can see it's very round, very cute. On the face, I'm going to put 2 circles. I kind of scribble them in over here. They're circles, but they're really, really wide and kind of low on the face. And if anything, they're more like if you drew a leaf on a diagonal, but then you rounded it off. So there's a very specific shape to them that's kind of hard to explain. But if you drew a leaf on a diagonal like that, I think that looks a little like sinister. So if you round it off, it looks nice and cute. And we will end up coloring those in. Or you can have it look sinister, that's fine as well. Right between the middle of those, we're going to put an upside down love heart for the nose, just really small in there. And then I put a big smile that almost goes from the side of the nose up to the other side of the nose. I like to be really high up with this smile. I think it looks really cute. And keep it kind of close in there. See how the face is all smushed into one line? It's a really cute effect. And then we're going to put a few stitches on there for the sugar skull. We're going to kind of decorate the whole thing. So let's do the decorations. That's really all there is left to do. I don't know what these are called, but like swirls and curls and fleur-de-lis, and let's just call it anything. But I think of them as long teardrop shapes. So there's a long teardrop shape just above the nose. Looks like an exclamation point. And then 2 swirls out to the side. And then I'm going to put little teardrop shapes just off to the side. Usually everything in these, it kind of looks like it bursts outwards like a fountain and it just curves out. And you can just keep repeating that as well. So let's do a leaf shape instead of that teardrop. We can try that. And then this time when we do the bursts, I'm going to do 2 little bursts down at the bottom. See how that looks like little fleur-de-lis? And then I've done a few of these as well, like a big C. Sometimes I'll draw the letter C and I'll draw it backwards as well. And then I'll put the little curly cues on because I find it hard to actually do this shape all in one line. Put little curly cues there. And then we can run another little swirl off the edge of it, leading the other way. See how that's got that little burst out to it as well? At the very, very top, I'm going to put an upside down rainbow, a little smile line, and then run a whole bunch of loops like petals of a flower. I did this when I was watching Coco, a musical celebration of Coco at Disney's California Adventure. A show very special to my husband, so this is very heavily inspired by everything I was seeing out there. I'm going to put a big loop to fill that big area out there. I start in, I go up, I go down, kind of like an S curve, and then a big loop to fill that area. And we can put smaller loops off the side if you have some other space. I say that because I put a lot of dots in these as well, and a lot of the patterning that is done in that movie is a reference to musical notes on a stave. I don't do music. I'm gonna out myself if I keep talking about it. There's no shame. I really have no musical ability, but so a lot of this is inspired by Coco, the movie. I'm actually gonna do 2 of these leaf kind of bursts above the eye. This is no specific pattern, I just made this up because I wanted to get as much pattern in here as possible, so there's no cultural reference or cultural significance to what I'm drawing, but it is all based off of the Day of the Dead. And those sugar skulls. I'm going to put some more swirls off the side here, and lashes. I'm going to put a whole bunch of lashes on the top, and then just a few on the outside at the bottom. I might put some curls just on the side of those loops, kind of look like little cheeks. And I mean, really anywhere else I have the space. I think that's, I wanted to show you the general shapes of everything, but now you can see I'm just gonna fill any space I have with more leaves and teardrops and swirls and curls. So it should be pretty hectic looking by the time you're finished. If you really struggle, just put dots everywhere, like big circles and little dots. And there we go. That is the actual skull. Now I want to draw the petals. I draw these as heart shapes, and what you want to do is you want to go out to the diagonal and to the bottom, out to the diagonal and to the bottom, and then fill in everything along this curve. So all of your hearts should fan out to this curve. You don't have to make them even or symmetrical or neat, but that's the general shape of them. That way you get a nice full collar of petals. And then a stem, just a nice little curve there, and some leaves. And you could have a whole garden of these. I think that would look really pretty. And I like that the head pops out the top rather than being in the middle. I just think it's a nice three-dimensional kind of look. So I've got the colored pencil now. I'm going to do the exact same thing. So I'll run through it kind of quicker this time because we've just gone over the whole thing. You can take your time with this, or you can grab your colored pencil. I'll just speak through the whole thing again. My trick with the colored pencil is slightly twist as you go. So I've actually got it in my hand and I'm kind of doing this just ever so slightly as I go. And that way you can get all the different colors into your line, especially with that big first circle line. You want to get a lot of color in there. When you do the eyes, if you accidentally end up on the yellow, just switch it around and hopefully you'll end up on a blue or a red or something nice and bold. Just some of the features need to stand out a bit more bold than the rest, just so it still reads. So try not to do any of these facial features in yellow. The red, the orange, the purple. See how that's really clear? That's the little face. Now everything else we can do with color. I'm going to put the lashes on first because I just love the lashes. And then I usually start at the center of the face just because it helps with symmetry. And then I just keep that pen, or the pencil, sorry, I just keep it going the whole time. I try not to stop and think too much because that's when I find I make a whole bunch of decisions that really don't make for a better result. They just kind of overcomplicate the process. Sometimes I'll add extra flowers on if I want, change up the pattern entirely. But I also really like this kind of wonky, chaotic look. You can even have a bit of a sharp edge to some of your swirls, gives it a bit of a Tim Burton aesthetic. And it looks like you've done it really, really quickly and really haphazardly, which is a nice, I don't know, it's a nice effect. I like that. Put my little dots everywhere. I try to keep it symmetrical, but sometimes even from like a millisecond later, I'll forget where I just put something. So I try not to be too hard on myself about it. See, this is missing a lot of red. So now I'm going to try and find the red and pop that down. And that way I can get some more of that full rainbow in there. And some more. Why did I keep missing the red? There it is. Depends. If your pencil is blunt as well, sometimes you'll get more of the colors than if it's freshly sharpened, but we can trick it up. Sometimes if I just want more color, I'll actually go around and put another line around the skull just to get more color in there, like double line the whole thing. We do have our hearts, so we can put all of our hearts in here. This is where you want to slightly twist as you go so you can really get the full spectrum of that pencil. See how each slight little twist puts a different color into it? Then you've got all of those rainbow colors in an instant. And I'll put my stem on, and I'll slightly twist as I go through the leaves again, just to get more of that color on there. And that's it. That is our super colorful version. I've done a few more here. We still have a minute left, so I'll probably just chat you through. This is the one that I did whilst I was at the park, and it really came about just because I don't take a lot of supplies to the park anymore. I take a really limited set of things, and I put this colored pencil in here. I always think like maybe I'll just use it if I just need a quick, like any color, I'll just go to that bit and do it, but I never use it like that. I always use it as a multicolor pencil, and so I did this. It looked like such a beautiful explosion of color. This pencil specifically, I think Black Pal is like the brand name of a company that private labeled these, like white labeled them, whatever you call it. So I don't know if you can find these as Black Pal, but there are tons of versions out there that are just as good, and maybe even are exactly the same pencil. But if you can, find one that has each color in its own column rather than all muddled together, because those ones, I have one here. This one, the Koh-i-Noor one, it's fun to use this one as well, but you can't separate the colors here. These ones will give you a fully muddled effect. Ooh, there goes the timer. So we are finished. So I'll show you just for example, this is what you get when you slightly twist the Black Pal pencil. And I was gifted these, so I couldn't even really tell you where to get them, but I know some people have found them on Amazon before. So that's what happens when you slightly twist like that, just against your finger as you go. And then this one is the Koh-i-Noor one, and no matter how I twist it, because all of those colors are in there, I don't know how you call it, but like confetti style almost. I mean, there's no separate channel for each color. They're all mixed in together in the lead. You're not going to be able to separate those colors, so you will just get a muddled effect. It's different, and I kind of like this for its own thing, but obviously it's a lot darker, and the color is a lot more subtle. This is definitely more of a rainbow pencil, so I love that, and those are the differences. I always try to explain those because I know a lot of people end up with versions like this, where all the... I'll try and... hang on, let me touch the screen to see if I can get it to focus on those pencil tips. There you go. Can you see those? Or I just touched the wrong thing? Hopefully you can see. In any case, those are the pencils. And there is our little sugar skull flower bulb thing. Who knows? Maybe you can come up with a name for it. This has been another Page in 10 episode. Hopefully you enjoyed this. Please share your work with us on social media if you would like to. We love to see it. Have a great day, and until next time, bye.